6 defensive backs. Collins playing up front. It's Foles to the air. Intercepted by the aforementioned Collins. You can kiss him goodbye. Touchdown. Pick 6. And they've just dumped the water on the coach of the playoff-bound New York Giants, Brian Daboll.
What up, New York Giant Nation? It is your boy, MacDaGiantsFan, coming back at y'all with the Week 18 edition of the True Blue Prevue. The New York Football Giants traveling down that turnpike to visit their good old buddies, the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a Week 18 matchup that, quite frankly, don't mean a whole lot to the New York Giants. No win, lose, or draw. They will still be the 6th seed in the NFC playoffs regardless. No movement can happen for the New York Giants. They can't move up. They can't move down. They just locked into that 6th spot, waiting to see if they're going to have Minnesota, San Fran, because that's the only 2 options of opponents for them to play as well. So we just waiting to figure that out. As far as the Eagles go, them Eagles, let me stop disrespecting them. Put a little respect on their name, I guess. They've had a good year, but they coming in here on a 2-game losing streak, and they look like they putting their guy back in the lineup. Look like their guy is going to be out there on the field ready to go on Sunday. I'm talking about that MVP caliber quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And, I get it. I mean, this game means a whole lot to the Eagles, man. All they got to do is win this football game, and they lock up the number 1 seed. But they've had that exact same opportunity the previous 2 weeks, and they've failed to get it done. So they reinserting Jalen Hurts back into this lineup, getting him ready to go up, and getting him ready to go all week. And we're going to see what they got, because, like I said, this game don't mean a lot for the New York Giants. With that being said, it's hard to tell, it's hard to know what to really expect. Because, like I said, whether we win or lose, it doesn't matter. We're still going to be the 6th seed. So, for a fact, Brian Daboll has already come out and made it official that there will be no Azeez Ojulari playing in this football game, and that there will be no Leonard Williams playing in this football game. Those 2 are definitely not playing. That's a guarantee. However, Mr. Coach Brian Daboll is still keeping the poker face on as to what he's going to do with the rest of his starters. So all I can do is maybe take a few swings, a few guesses, try to, what I think he might do, which way he might approach it. Personally, I think he's going to kind of approach it almost like a preseason, type of game as far as his personnel goes. You might see a small smidge of Saquon Barkley. You might see a little dose of Daniel Jones. But with that being said, I'm expecting to see a whole lot of Tyrod Taylor as well in this football game. And I'm thinking that Matt Breida and Gary Brightwell are going to have a workload like they have not had all season long. That's just my best guess is how he's going to handle it, and particularly those 2 players. As far as Adoree Jackson, who hasn't played in quite some time, yeah, I'm thinking that Adoree, he's probably going to end up sitting this one out, even though it might be good for him to get in there and get a couple reps if he's healthy enough to go. But at the same time, why truly risk it at the end of the day, man? He hasn't played this much. He hasn't played football in weeks. So at this point in time, what's one more week for him to wait to get back on that field and get back out there with his brothers, man? So first and foremost, man, I think that's how we're going to approach it. I'm thinking that's how we're going to approach this thing. Pretty much just like that, Anybody with the little nagging, lingering little things, they probably not going to really play too much, see the field too much. Going to see a whole lot of the New York Giants backups, which means it's going to probably be a long day at the office for the New York Football Giants. Let's face it, our starters, even if our starters were all healthy and ready to go, let's face it, if we want to be honest with ourselves, we don't match up very well with the Philadelphia Eagles. So let alone, can't imagine if we got our JV team out there. But I'm thinking Brian Daboll keeping that poker face on, but I don't think he's I think he's the kind of he's like trying to just make the Eagles have to think about it, play the guessing game a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to treat this one like a preseason matchup, man. As far as how we play our personnel in this game, nothing. People have been making the comparison of a couple years ago when the Eagles and Washington played in that final game of the season, and I don't think it's quite the same. I don't think it has the same. It's like the same way here because they kind of went out there and just laid an egg. You pull your best. You pull Jalen Hurts out, who at the time was still the young. Was that, I believe, his rookie? Was it his rookie year? Yeah, I believe it was his rookie year. And you pulled Jalen Hurts out the game when he was playing well, good enough for y'all to get the W. This was not the same. This ain't the same situation. Jalen Hurts was not the full-time starter at that point in time in his career. So you pulled him out the game and put in some third-string guy to take a look at him. I mean, that's a different situation in that game, I feel like, than how the Giants might approach this. The Giants won't be just throwing this game away, but they just understand the situation. We got a playoff game next week, and you got to make sure your guys are healthy as they can be. And if guys need the rest, then they need the damn rest. That's what it is. So I'm thinking that's how it's going to go down. And I'm looking for the Coach Daboll to be very smart about his usage of the personnel, especially the key players on this football team. So I still look for our receivers to probably get pretty much their regular burn because all we got is what we got. And stuff like that. Maybe you might get the line. Offensive line might get a little extra work still just because I like to see them continuing to build and get that continuity. And it'll be a good test for them against this Eagle front seven, man. Just get this O-line some good work going into these playoffs, man. So I look for to see fairly normal reps from those personnel groupings. But like I said, the Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, I don't expect to see too much of them. Maybe a little bit, but not very much. And like I said, the backups, like I said, Breida Brightwell, Tyrod Taylor, I expect to see big chunks of them out there on the field on Sunday. Unfortunately, I'm going to the game on Sunday. I get to go up, sit in the stands, enjoy my team this season finale. And yeah, sure. The fan in me, I want to see my guys out there. I want to see DJ. I want to see Saquon Barkley. But I understand and I get it, and I totally get that if Brian Daboll makes the decision not to play these guys too much because you don't want to risk a freak injury going into the most important game of a lot of these players' career. Up to this point. I mean, Daniel Jones ain't played a playoff game ever. Saquon Barkley ain't never played a playoff game ever. So they want to be healthy for that game. So if Daboll makes the decision to hold those guys back, then it is what it is, man. I stand by the coach. As far as, I don't really have much else to say about this game, man. Like I said, the Eagles got to win this because the Eagles have so much on the line here. I mean, they lose this football game, they could drop down as low as the 5th seed. Legitimately can drop down as low as the 5th seed if they lose this football. As a matter of fact, if they lose this football game, they will drop down to the 5th seed, if I'm not mistaken, unless the 49ers lose as well. So, I mean, if the Cowboys win their game against the Washington Commanders on Sunday and the Eagles lose this game to the Giants, the Cowboys will win the division, will at least win the division, and that'll push the Eagles down to, like I said, down to like the 5th seed. So I think right now at this point in time, if the 49ers win their game and the Eagles lose, the 49ers will then become the number 1 seed. And then, of course, the Cowboys still have their small, slim chance of becoming the number 1 seed as well if the Eagles and the 49ers both lose and they win. So we're going to see how this thing turns out, man. Like I said, this game really doesn't mean a lot. That has no bearing meaning for the Giants whatsoever, whether they win or lose. So I'm just going to trust in Coach Daboll to make the decisions what's best for this football team and get this team ready for Minnesota or San Fran, whichever one of those teams we're going to have to be doing battle with next week in the wild card round. And with that being said, I'm just going to go on ahead and get ready to wrap this thing on up, man. I'm going to make the score prediction. And Big Blue, I got to keep it real, man. I'm thinking that we're going to be playing a lot of backups, particularly by the second half of this football game. And I think the Eagles are going to pretty much kind of, take care of business, man. Especially they're putting Jalen Hurts back out there. I just think the Eagles, there's a 14-point spread in this game, and I think the Eagles literally might cover that. Unfortunately, I know we don't want to hear that. We love to spoil their season a little bit. At the same time, spoiling their season helps the Cowboys out. I don't want to help them out either. So it's a lose-lose regardless, as far as I'm concerned. So, I think the Eagles are going to take care of business here in MetLife. And at the Link on Sunday, unfortunately. I think they're going to beat the New York Giants. I'll say 36 to 10. I just don't think we're going to see too much from the New York Giants on Sunday, to be honest, because like I said, I don't expect our guys to get heavy reps, not our starters anyway. So yeah, 36 to 10, Philadelphia Eagles. And then, this week, I come on my Aftermath show live after each and every game. This week, since like I said, I'll be attending the game up at the Link. It'll take me a little bit of time to get home. It's going to take me a little time to get home. So I'm still had the Aftermath coming. It's just going to be a little later than normal. It's not going to be immediately following the game. It's going to probably be more like about an hour or so after the game. So it's still coming. You know what I mean? Don't worry. It's going to still be coming. And definitely don't forget to check my guy, my super dope co-host, Adam Costas, out with me, myself, Mac the Giants fan, on Wednesday for the first ever wildcard edition of the Real Deal NFC East Roundup. And one more thing before I get up out of here, I want to send prayers and love to Damar Hamlin and his family. This young man is off the ventilator, breathing on his own, communicating, talking with his family, and it is quite the blessing because it was a very scary situation on Monday night. Less than a week ago, this young man basically died for a couple of minutes on the field, and it's just a blessing that all the medical team was able to bring this man back, get him to the hospital, and get him all the treatment that he needed. And he's not fully recovered, obviously, but he is trending in a very good direction. And I want to say that is truly a blessing. And just continue to send those prayers to Damar Hamlin and his family as he continues to recover from this tragic situation from Monday Night Football. With that being said, man, it's your boy, Mac the Giants fan, man. Make sure y'all enjoy the game. Hey! I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MACDA Giants fan.